A cow escapes on the University of Kentucky campus. The latest on how it got loose and the commotion it caused coming up.
Well, it picked a good day to be loose in Lexington. A lot of sunny skies, gusty winds, and spring-like temperatures. We'll talk about when it comes to a thundering end just ahead.
Also ahead, a bizarre attack in Lexington. A woman says she was attacked with her own bra.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer Palumbo. It's a gorgeous afternoon in the Bluegrass. Temperatures are in the 70s right now. You're looking live at Triangle Park and Rupp Arena in downtown Lexington, where this is a perfect day to be outside. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has a first look at the forecast. And Chris, it's also windy. Your camera is shaking.
It is. You need the Dramamine before you look at our live cam right now on the east side of town. This is on top of the station. It's looking out toward the Hamburg Pavilion area, and I assure you, I am not touching that camera right now to kind of move it around, but that's how windy it is on our side of town. If you look closely enough here, you can at least kind of see some of the flags that are out there, and the winds are gusting greater than 30 miles an hour at times. 73 out of Bluegrass Airport, that gust at 29 miles an hour. I think it's a little greater on this side of town right now, and that camera kind of proving that one. Getting a gust in Frankfort at 31 miles per hour, 34 mile per hour gust right now into Covington, into London. So with that spring-like air blowing in here, the winds are really taking over, boosting those temperatures toward the low 70s. 73 Lexington and Richmond, 76 showing up right now into London. Only holdout into the upper 60s far northern Kentucky around the Covington, Cincinnati area. Live first alert defender, nothing that is out there. We'll change that up though here in just a couple of days. Nice start to April for the day tomorrow. No fooling on that. Late week showers and thunderstorms increase, and that leads us into what may be a little cooler Easter weekend. Jennifer, when I come back in about 15 minutes, we'll walk you through the next several days with the hour-by-hour forecast.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Chris. A cow caused quite a commotion today on the University of Kentucky campus. Police had to shut down some roads after the cow escaped from the UK Agriculture building. Crews spent more than an hour trying to catch it. They finally did at Cooper Drive and Castle Road after a member of the UK rodeo team lassoed it. WKYT's Jordan Valines has the latest in our top story at 4.
It was a sight you had to see to believe. A 1,400-pound steer loose on UK's campus for nearly 2 hours, putting everyone in the area on high alert. A spokesperson with UK Agriculture tells us it was just after 10 o'clock this morning when a steer that was being offloaded at a campus research facility escaped through an unsecured gate onto campus. UK police had to block off Cooper Drive as the steer ran on and off the roadway, grabbing the attention of folks nearby, and the word quickly spread about the escaped animal. Believe it or not, members of the UK rodeo team showed up to help, and after the steer was mildly sedative, one of the members was able to rope the steer up and help it get safely into the truck.
My whole plan was just in case it bolted again, we could get a rope on it, and at least we get one. I mean, it's a 1,400-pound steer. So you get a couple people on the end of the rope, we could at least direct it, and if it's going towards traffic, we can try and anchor it down to a tree.
Coming up, hear more about an unusual incident that happened this afternoon on UK's campus involving a 1,400-pound steer on the loose.
That was Jordan Valines reporting. A UK spokesperson confirms the cow escaped from the UK College of Agriculture, Food and Environment. That's off Nicholasville Road and Cooper Drive. UK has not said how the cow got loose. The top-ranked Kentucky Wildcats are getting ready to head to Indianapolis to take on Wisconsin Saturday in the Final Four. Today, UK players Dakari Johnson, Aaron Harrison, and Karl Anthony Towns talked to the media about the rematch of last year's Final Four. Even though the Cats are undefeated at 38-0, Harrison says they're not taking anything or any team for granted.
We have a lot to prove. So I think, I mean, I'm not really sure how other teams are feeling, but I know we're just as motivated as we ever been, and even more so. We're just going out and trying to win games and make statements and just play as hard as we can.
We'll have more from the UK players coming up on WKYT News at 5. We're hearing for the first time from the victim of a bizarre attack. Lexington police say Ashley Size barged into a home on Harrogate Road near Bryan Station and attacked the woman inside. That woman, Patricia Lease, tells us during the struggle, Size was able to get Lease's bra off and attack her with it. Lease says she used a ceramic chicken to knock out the woman, then called 911.
Sometimes I couldn't even, swallow or breathe or anything because I thought I was going to die that night. I did. But like I said, by the grace of God, I didn't. He was with me.
Size is charged with burglary. She's due in court about a half hour from now. And that's just one of the stories we're working on for WKYT News at 4:30. Sam Dick is in the newsroom with more of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Jennifer. A mother is speaking out after police say her baby was given alcohol by his aunt. Angela Spoonamore pled not guilty to several charges. Garrett County Police say Spoonamore was babysitting her nephew Saturday night when she gave him alcohol in a sippy cup and then threw him on the ground. Witnesses told police Spoonamore was acting normal at the first, but then her behavior got out of control and they called police. You'll hear what the baby's mother has to say about all this coming up on WKYT News at 4:30. Emergency crews from several different counties working a large fire in the Daniel Boone National Forest right now. The fire started this afternoon in a sawmill at Farrell's Logging and Lumber on Highway 719 outside of Frenchburg in Menifee County. We're told strong winds spread the fire into the nearby forest. Firefighters from Menifee, Montgomery, Morgan, and Bath counties have all been fighting the flames, as well as a forestry crew. We're told the fire is still burning but is now under control. We have a report from the scene on WKYT News coming up at 5 o'clock. And firefighters responded to the scene of a crash in Lexington this morning where a car went into a house. You can see that the car went right through the window of a house on East Hills Drive. Amazingly, no one was hurt. Firefighters think the woman driving the car was trying to make a U-turn and something went wrong to send the car through the yard. There were several people inside at the time. A woman who lives there said she didn't believe her husband when he told her what he saw.
I jumped up and I asked him, was he okay? I said, what's wrong? And he said, call 911. Someone ran into our house. And I had to ask him twice because I didn't think he, it was just unbelievable.
Firefighters believe the house is still structurally sound. And that's a look at some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Now to stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Sports officials are planning an Indy Welcomes All campaign ahead of this weekend's NCAA Final Four in Indianapolis. Lawmakers are now scrambling to quiet the firestorm over the state's new religious objections law that critics say allows discrimination of gays and lesbians. The law prohibits state laws that substantially burden a person's ability to follow his or her religious beliefs. Lawmakers are now trying to add language to the measure to make it clear that it will not allow discrimination. An accused bank robber is back in custody after a wild breakout overnight from a Virginia hospital. Now investigators want to know how he managed to escape. Mark Albert has the latest from Washington.
Police captured escaped prisoner Wassan Asai after a resident spotted the fugitive in Washington, D.C.
We are glad that he is in custody and that no one was gravely harmed during this event.
The accused bank robber overpowered a private guard overnight at a Northern Virginia hospital when her partner stepped out of the room. Asai was being treated for injuries after an attempted suicide. One shot was fired as the suspect grabbed the guard's gun. He then used her as a shield to escape. Investigators want to know if proper procedures were followed.
Two people should be able to certainly guard a prisoner securely. What we're investigating right now is to what his shackles, were they loosened, were they not on, was something not followed.
After taking off from the hospital in a gown with no shoes, Asai broke into a car and hid in the trunk.
And she said some person was in the back of her car and popped up as she was driving down on Backlick.
The fugitive later abandoned the car and the stolen gun, then carjacked a second car before police caught up with him in Washington, D.C., ending the intense manhunt. Mark Albert, CBS News, Washington.
Police say at this point there's no indication the breakout was pre-planned.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
A down day on Wall Street. The Dow dropped 200 points to close at 17,776. The Nasdaq fell 46 and the S&P 500 lost 18. A warning for UK fans trying to find Final Four tickets. Make sure you're buying from legitimate sources. The Better Business Bureau says good tickets are easy to find as long as you're looking in the right places. They suggest using the NCAA Ticket Exchange or a site such as StubHub that offers a guarantee. We'll have more coming up on WKYT News at 6. Big changes are planned for a historic Lexington building. The old headquarters of Southeast Greyhound Lines is at the corner of North Limestone and Loudon Avenue. It's been empty for decades, but that will soon change. North Limestone Community Development Corporation has been awarded a $550,000 grant. It comes from the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation. The Lexington nonprofit hopes to turn the building into a public market and local food hub. Renovating the building will take several $1 million, but the group says this grant gets them off to a great start. When the bill comes at a restaurant, you then have to figure out how much of a tip to leave your server. Now a growing number of restaurants is doing away with tipping, but you still pay for the service. Lauren Lister explains.
At the New York restaurant Dirt Candy, people come for the vegetarian cuisine.
Questions about the menu so far?
But after questions about the food, chef owner Amanda Cohen says customers often have another.
They're like, so I don't have to tip? And we're like, you don't have to tip.
That's right, Cohen did away with tipping. Instead, she charges customers a 20% administrative fee.
I wanted to be able to pay everybody who works for me a living wage. The minimum is $15 an hour. That includes our dishwasher.
In order to spread pay more evenly, Cohen decided to collect and distribute all the money herself.
The eggplant is also really good.
Servers like Jane Brenlinger make up to $25 an hour.
Right now, I prefer the hourly. Just because you know how much you're going to get paid. It's a very fair wage.
Dirt Candy appears to be part of a growing trend of restaurants adopting no tipping policies. Establishments in cities nationwide have made similar moves. Some add a service charge to the bill. Others, like Bar Marco in Pittsburgh, are raising prices and adjusting the menu to pay their employees more.
We're going to standardize their pay, so their pay will be the same every week.
Customers we met at Dirt Candy weren't complaining.
I'm fine with it. I actually like the predictability of it. I think that everyone sort of wins.
Lauren Lister, CBS News, New York.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. From Stedden Farm here in Stamping Ground, Kentucky, where I've made a new friend. This is Jax and I are going to be tight. You said Jax loves to be, doesn't like the microphone, that's for sure, but Jax loves to be rubbed on.
Yep. Jax is one that most of the alpacas really don't like to be touched too much. Their fleece is really nice, but Jax enjoys it and enjoys the company and likes to be around people.
Steve Ross knows all about alpacas. We here in Stamping Ground, his alpaca farm. What do you do with alpacas, Steve?
Well, there's many different colors, as you can see in the background here. We've got brown, white, grays. You turn them into yarn, and then you turn the yarn into finished goods. And you're breeding for the higher quality fleece, which gives you the higher quality yarn, which makes the more expensive garments.
How long have you been doing this?
Since 2007.
Really? And what made you turn to alpacas?
Well, we have some acreage here, and we thought it'd be a good idea if we could do something with it. And I'd been in the horse business for a while, and the horses are kind of hard to take care of. So we started looking at alpacas, and they're easy on the ground, and they're easy to take care of. So we decided to try alpacas, and we started off with 4 of them, and now we've got 25.
And they continue to grow, so you're doing something right. Do you encourage others to look into, I wouldn't say housing or boarding alpacas, but farming with alpacas?
Yes, that's what we're trying to do. The Kentucky Alpaca Association is trying to reach out to new members, and what we're looking at is the training and teaching and educating of people how to take care of animals, and you don't need that much space to take care of them, and they're fairly easy to take care of, and we just want people to come out to the different farms in Kentucky and learn about the business.
You're preparing for the Kentucky Classic Alpaca Show?
Yes, every year we have a show where we bring Kentucky alpacas as well as other alpacas around the United States together, and we compare them by color, sex, and age for their fleece conformation qualities.
All right, so that is happening April 11th at Fasig-Tipton Farm. We're going to have more info on that coming up at 4:50, and more with our new friend Jax from the Stedden Farm here in Stamping Ground. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
It's time for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Men who eat strawberries, spinach, and other fruits and vegetables high in pesticide residue may be lowering their sperm count. That's according to a new study from Harvard University that found men who ate organic produce had much better counts than men who ate non-organic produce. A study from Brown University suggests children who take a sip of mom and dad's cocktails may begin drinking at an earlier age. Researchers tracked 500 students, finding those allowed to take a drink before 6th grade were nearly 5 times more likely to down an entire drink by high school, and the likelihood of binge drinking quadrupled. An apple a day may not keep the doctor away, but it may keep you out of the pharmacy. That's according to researchers in Michigan. They found daily apple eaters had better odds of avoiding prescription medications. Amazon wants to be your one-stop shop where you can buy products and then hire people to install them. The online retailer has launched home services. Amazon says it's vetted all of the service people and the prices are listed up front. Customers can hire someone to install a TV or even teach them music lessons. Soon you may be able to have that Egg McMuffin for dinner. McDonald's is testing all-day breakfast, its newest strategy to battle slumping sales. Right now, the cutoff for breakfast is 10:30 a.m. Beginning next month, McDonald's will offer a partial breakfast menu all day long at certain locations in San Diego.